Hey everyone, welcome to Play USA. My name's Nicole, here to answer all of your online gambling questions. In today's Tuesday Q&A, we are going to be answering what do I need to know before betting on the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. But before we dive into today's topic, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, give us a thumbs up, and ring the bell so you know every time we post a new video. Now, today's video isn't going to focus on what you can and can't bet on at the Tokyo Olympics. We've already covered that in a previous segment, so make sure to check it out. This video is going to focus on what the athletes are going to be subject to at the Olympics and how that could potentially affect your bet. This year's Olympics are complicated to say the least. They've already been pushed back a year from 2020. We are still in the midst of a pandemic, and Tokyo's vaccine numbers are not where the committee wants them to be. And because of all this, there are some pretty strict health and safety protocols that athletes will have to endure at this year's Summer Games. First, athletes are not allowed to bring any family members, friends, or support system to the games. There will be a very limited fan attendance, with fans having to mask up and socially distance, and all of those fans will be local. The other thing is that athletes will have to endure daily COVID tests. And many athletes have argued that this is just too much for them. Serena Williams and Sofia Kenin have already decided to sit it out on the women's tennis side, and a lot of NBA players like Steph Curry, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis are sitting this one out as well. But what about bets on those athletes that are competing? It's going to be a tricky situation. When it comes to individual sports like golf and swimming, if an athlete tests positive for COVID after the games have already started, what are sportsbooks going to do? We've seen this situation play out earlier this year with Jon Rahm at the Memorial Tournament. Jon Rahm had tested negative for COVID multiple times, was in a deep run in the tournament, and then had a positive test. There wasn't enough time between that test and the resumption of play for things to be sorted out, so he had to withdraw. Now, during that scenario, sportsbooks were very generous and did either grade Jon Rahm bets as a win, or many of them voided the bets and returned the original wager to players' accounts. But just because sportsbooks did a goodwill gesture during the Memorial Tournament does not mean that they are going to do the same thing during the Olympics, and they're not required to. But as a cautionary tale, sportsbooks haven't really ironed out their Olympic betting regulations and what's going to happen in the case of another Jon Rahm COVID situation. When it comes to team sports, things are a little bit different because that's what alternates are for. If somebody gets sick on the team and has to be pulled into COVID protocols, then someone on the bench steps up, and as long as the team continues to play, then those bets will be graded as action. But things are still murky. Sportsbooks are still trying to figure things out. So just remember to read and understand the rules fully before you place that Olympics bet. That about wraps it up for today's video. If you have any questions you would like me to answer in the future, make sure to leave them in the comment section down below, and I will see you next week.